Okay, forgive the noise, but I just need to do this very quickly. Right, divide binomials by monomials. So the first thing to do is to split it up, like how you did in primary school with fractions. Most occasions you will get 1 mark just to split that. So we call that a method mark, and you get 1 mark just to do that. Right, then we're going to divide the numerator by the denominator. So the numerator divide by the denominator. Numerator divide by the denominator. So we're going to say 16 divided by 2 is 8, and x squared over x will be x. Right, x squared divided by x is x. Why? Because we subtract the exponents, so it's 2 minus the 1 will give us 1. Right, then we have 8 divided by 2 is 4, and who can tell me what is x over x? 7 divided by 7 is 1. 8 divided by 8 is 1. So who can tell me what's x divided by x? Yes, x divided by x is 1. So therefore, the x will cancel the x. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Correct. Let's look at the next one. First step is to split it. Right, so the first step is to split it. What is 30 divided by 15? So 30 divided by 15. Don't forget that this line means divide. So 30 divided by 15. Answer will be 2. Then we have x squared divided by x. We don't forget to subtract the exponents. Who can tell us what's the exponents over there? It's 1. So x squared divided by x. Subtract the exponents. 2 subtract 1 will give us 1. So it has to be x to the 1. When you come to the second part, a lot of people get confused with the 3 divided by 15. They think that it has to be a big number on top. Not necessarily. We learned this in primary school, equivalent fractions. So 3 over 15. Can you think of an equivalent fraction for me? Right, so we have 3 over 15 divided by 3 over 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 15 divided by 3 is 5. So we know definitely that that second part over here will be 1 over 5. X over x is 1. So we can see that the x will cancel the x. And so we have 3 divided by 15 is 1 over 5. Right, and that is the lesson on divide binomials by monomials. Don't forget to split. 1 mark for splitting in most cases. Forgive the noise. The next one is simplify complex expressions. So the first one is practically multiplication and addition intermixed, and the second one is division. Okay, so you can write down those 2 questions and let's do it. Don't forget that plus and minus separate terms, and so I've divided it with a green marker. So we need to multiply these 2 terms first. Multiply those, see if you can get it. So we have a positive 2 times a negative 4. So a positive 2 times a negative 4, we will get negative 8. Multiply the variables together. Remember, when you multiply and they're different, we just push them together. So that will give us x squared y squared. Right, don't forget that the plus separates terms. So now we're going to multiply that 8 and that 3. 8 times 3 will give us 24. Okay, so 8 times 3 is 24. Then we're going to multiply x squared. Notice that there's no other x over here. So that means we're going to practically say x squared times 1. X squared times 1 will give us x squared. And then we're going to multiply y times y. Don't forget they have an exponent 1 each. So we're going to add the exponents. So y times y is y squared. That's the final answer. Right? You think? Final answer? What do you think? Class, notice that these are like terms. That's why I use 2 different colors. X squared, y squared. Can you see that it is very common? That means they are like terms. And then we got 24 plus 24 minus 8. That should give us a plus 16. So answer is 16 x squared, y squared. So 16 x squared, y squared. Don't forget to number 2. The first thing we want to do is to separate. And we get 1 method mark just for separation. Right, so don't forget 1 mark for separating, and we've separated. Notice that a negative divided by a negative is a positive. Again, we said that we learned this in primary school. 4 over 12, we need to find an equivalent fraction. So negative divided by negative, that means that negatives will fall away. That will be a positive answer. 4 over 12, can you find an equivalent fraction? Right, 4 over 12 is 1/3, and x squared divided by 1 is x squared, so the x squared remains in the numerator. The y to the 4 will cancel and it will go out. Anything over itself is 1. Then we have the whole plus minus situation. The plus minus situation happening there. A positive divided by a negative is a negative. 2 divided by 12. Don't forget, do not write decimals, but write an equivalent fraction. What will that equivalent fraction be? Yes, correct, 1 over 6. Don't forget that x divided by 1 will give us x. So now we got y to the 7, y to the 4. We are going to subtract the exponents. 7 minus 4 is 3. So we're going to get y to the 3rd. Don't forget that a negative divided by a negative is a positive. And we're going to look again at an equivalent fraction. 3 over 12. Divide the numerator by 3, I'll get 1. Divide the 12 by 3, I'll get 4. And so now we got y to the 10, y to the 4. Don't forget, when we the next one is simplify expressions or exponents. So notice that we have brackets here, and this 3 has to be multiplied by all these exponents. So everything in the brackets must get this power. We do that first, okay? So we're going to multiply all those by 3. Okay, multiplying those, we'll find that 5 times 3 is 15. So 5 times 3 is 15. The negative will remain there. 2 times 3 is 6. It's all in brackets, okay? Now we need to multiply this 5x times all of this. So we got 5x times x. Don't forget to add the exponents. So we're going to have 5 times 1 will be 5. Right, so 5 times 1 is 5. Don't forget that it will be a negative answer because a negative times a positive is a negative. So 5 times 1 is 5. X. What do we do to the exponents? Don't forget there's a 1 there. So 15 plus 1 will give us 16. Then we have the y to the 6. So we have 5x times that. So 5 times 1 will give us the 5. These are the same bases. That's how we get the 16. But now we have this y to the 6. So it's y to the 6. This is all in brackets. So this will remain y to the 6. Don't forget that when we multiply, we push it together. Let's look at the next one. A negative times a positive is a negative. But we can't start there. We need to do the power first because brackets come first. So this power has to be multiplied. And don't forget the 2. Right, so we know that we have to multiply the powers. 11 times 2 is 22. 11 times 9, 18. 1 times 2 is 2. Now we can simplify this because 2 squared will give us what? 4. Now we're going to multiply the term on the outside by the whole bracket. So this term on the outside has to be multiplied by the whole bracket. Don't forget that this is x to the 1 and that is also y to the 1. Minus 4 times 4 will give us minus 16. X times x, we write down the common base. 18 plus 1 is 19. Y, we write down the common base. 1 plus 22 is 23. And that is our final answer.